We are live. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. We are live. Happy Friday. We're going to be going over Facebook and TikTok ad strategies. Hope everybody's having an amazing week so far. We're about to be in month 5, which is crazy to think about. Almost already halfway through the year. Time is definitely flying. Welcome, everybody. Yo, what's going on? Hi, good morning. Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. Let me know where you're from, where you're located. Welcome, everybody. What's up? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. We're live on YouTube and Instagram. Morning, Malaysia here. Very cool. Dubai. We have a big Dubai audience. It's definitely growing. The Dubai market is crushing it right now. Shout out to Dubai. North Carolina. There you go. The US. Awesome. Atlanta. Very cool. We work with a lot of brands in Atlanta. Slovenia. Awesome. Philadelphia. Very cool. Bro, how are you crushing it? Crashing it? Good morning, afternoon, SoCal. Very nice. New Zealand. Awesome. Some Kiwis watching from Egypt. Very cool. Morocco. London here. Love your work, Chase. Ellie, thank you so much. Ghana. And we have people all over the world here. Facebook is running a business of mine from getting new clients. Elaborate more. Did your ad account go down? What happened? Sussex, England. Very nice. Paris. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Very cool. Awesome. So we're going to be going over Facebook and TikTok ad questions. Feel free to drop your questions down below. This can include organic strategies too. So feel free to start asking your questions. From Cali. Very nice. That's awesome. Welcome, everybody who's just now joining in. We also just released a brand new YouTube video while we're waiting on some questions to come through. We're going over an ad account that's spending $500K to $1.5 million per month and looking at what's wrong with some of these accounts. Believe it or not, a lot of bigger accounts actually don't have the right strategies in place. And a lot of you with your ad account spending just $1,000 a month actually have stronger strategies, believe it or not. How much should you expect to spend on a test campaign? I'd recommend $5 a day per audience. Depending on your budget, it would be a little bit higher, but $5 a day per audience and have at least 5 to 10 audiences for testing. So that way you can start to see what's getting purchases and what's not. I'm stuck to generate qualified leads for real estate company. Okay, so if you want to get qualified leads, the first thing you need to do is 1, optimize for regular leads to see what your cost per result is going to be. And then you want to start optimizing for quality by seeing who moves forward in the process. So if you get 100 leads, you want to find out who moved forward and which audience they came from. And then you want to start directing your budget towards where the quality leads are being generated. Even if you're getting a low cost per lead on a different audience, if it's not getting you customers, then turn it off and just focus on where the quality is coming from. That's going to reinforce the algorithm, give you much better results. Lots of questions coming through. Watching from India, Paradise on Earth. Awesome. Facebook won't let me run ads. I have no violations. Have you created a new ad account? If I have 3 cells in one ad set and 1 in the other on TikTok, should I increase my budget and by how much? Well, 3 cells isn't necessarily enough, but you should definitely always increase your budget on the audiences that are getting the best results. And usually following a 20% rule is the best case. Hi, I'm starting my business right now, and I'd like to scale my sales quite rapidly. What strategy do you suggest? Depends on your business, what product you're selling. Is your website live? Are you running ads? What's some more information on that? Do you think it's better to create a different campaign when scaling versus increasing the budget? So if you're going to keep the same creatives and you're not going to be making any changes to the campaign, then just linearly scale it. That way you don't have to reset anything. It's going to be easier just to scale that up directly. But if you plan on launching new creatives and you're trying to scale at the same time, then you're definitely going to want to relaunch. Meta expert called me the other day, spoke with them direct. They recommended awareness campaign. They are clueless. They are definitely clueless. I would not take that advice, Tyler. Most meta experts are trained on their book, which essentially means awareness first. Then you want to do the view content and work your way up. Definitely not true. Avoid those things at all costs. You want to focus on your goal. If your goal is purchases, go for purchases because the algorithm is in tune that way. You're going to get more sales that way very easily. It's a clothing business. Okay, so I mean, if you have a clothing business, launch 3 to 5 ads, 5 to 10 audiences, start testing it immediately, whichever one's getting the highest return on ad spend, and start scaling. It's pretty straightforward initially there. Spend more on what works and less on what doesn't. Do you do store reviews for this live? If there's a way to share a screen, then maybe. Yeah, for YouTube we could, but on Instagram we can't. I've gotten tons of clicks, but only one sale in the past month. Should I increase ad spend on that audience? Okay, if it's in the past month, then you should turn everything off and reevaluate your offer, your creative, and your actual website. There could be something that's not connecting or really resonating with the audience that you need to fix. So definitely need to do something there. What are some creative strategies you use for targeting on Facebook? Yeah, so always recommend testing at least 3 to 5 creatives. That includes videos, images, carousels. And then a good creative strategy is once you have something that's converting, you want to create content that's very similar to it as well. And you also want to follow proven formats. Like proven formats that are like driven to scale up are comparison style ads. That's one format that is known to scale quite rapidly and can handle a lot of spend. A comparison is comparing your product, whether it's the ingredients, the benefits, the price, anything that's different about your product against a competitor or just the industry as a whole. You can compare and have that in an ad. It's called a comparison ad, whether it's a video or an actual image. And those ads are very scalable. So there's definitely formats that are proven that you can automatically have in your creative strategy that you should know immediately, because you might test something and not even realize that it's already proven to work. So if you know these things in advance, it helps dramatically. And another example of this is like review-based ads. If you have a review-based ad, that's another thing that is something on the list that you'd want to test. Retargeting, making sure the background is white or black for retargeting with no other individual in the actual image or video, just focus purely on the product. When will I get the credit I deserve for the trillions of ideas I've shared with Elon in the past 7 days? Interesting question. Do you think email marketing is still an effective way to drive sales? Absolutely. If you have an e-commerce store, one of the quickest ways you can increase your sales volume and profit specifically is through email marketing. If you're not sending at least 1 email a week, you're definitely missing out on a lot of money. If you're not sending 2, 3, 4 emails a week, you're missing out on money. Every additional email you send on your email list is going to result in more sales. I've never seen a situation where somebody has sent too many emails. Because think about it this way. If you have a list of 1,000 people who've opted in on your email list, it is free to send them an email. And now some people might be worried about bothering somebody or sending too many emails. Well, let me give you an example. You send 1 email and you get a few thousand sales. Great. The second email you send 2 days later, it gets a few hundred sales and your unsubscribe ratio increases. Now you had 100 people opt out. All right. Well, the next email you send, you do another few thousand sales, but you had 200 people opt out. Well, the thing is with this, as long as you're acquiring people for less money than what you're getting out of your email list, it always makes sense to just keep blasting the list. The more you hit your email list, the more sales you're going to get. Who cares how many people unsubscribe? Because you're going to be getting these emails back anyways over time, especially through your ads. So it only costs you like $1 to get somebody to subscribe to your email list, and you're making thousands of dollars off of your email list every time you email it. You're making so much additional dollars off of this. So there's no reason why you shouldn't be using SMS and emails every week. I assure you, this is probably the most underutilized thing for all of you. I bet nobody here is sending 4 emails a week on their e-commerce. If anybody's sending more than 4, let me know, because you'd see a dramatic increase in results. Now, that's not the only thing that's going to help your sales, but it's definitely going to increase your overall volume. The more you spend on ads and the more emails you're sending out, the more profit you're going to extract out of your business. And if people are buying, then you definitely know they're interested. What's the best camera to shoot on for Reels? I mean, we use iPhones, we use Sony A7 2s and 3s and all those numbers we use. I mean, it could be professionally shot. It could be off of an iPhone. Both of them work equally. I have videos go viral both ways. So do our clients. It honestly is just preference. The reason we would opt for a higher quality camera is simply for a branding purpose of just raising the value of how we expect the quality of something to be, but it actually doesn't really have much correlation in your overall views. So I wouldn't even worry about that. What's the ratio of time you spend editing a reel? I mean, for editing, we have editors. So, I mean, it could be a few hours to get, multiple videos edited for reels. If I'm just shooting off my camera and then self-editing, once again, probably 30 minutes, around that time to an hour. Definitely pays off, though, in the long run. Do you use MailChimp? No. Use ActiveCampaign. For e-commerce, I'd recommend Klaviyo. Are traffic campaigns necessary? Can you go straight to conversions? Traffic campaigns are definitely not necessary. Go straight to conversion campaigns. If you're on Amazon, it's okay to run traffic, but if you're on like any e-commerce platform other than Amazon, then you definitely need to be running purchase conversion campaigns. At what point do you turn off your ads when you test them to avoid spending too much money? I would take your average cost per result. So if your average cost per result is $50, anytime you have an ad set with no sales or an ad with no sales that's spending more than 50, you know to turn it off because it's higher than your average. So you should have already had a purchase by then. Is it better to test Facebook with $5 or 10? Both are great options. $10 is good if you have a larger budget. $5 is great if you're just starting out. Hello, I'm running ads for vinyl wrap shop. What can we do not to compete on price? Yeah, so I mean, you could do so there's a lot of things you could do there. For one, I would show multiple different variations of wraps. Don't get hung up on one single wrap. When we were promoting a business that was selling specifically rims and wheels for sports cars and stuff, there's lots of different variations, lots of different colors. You want to show lots of different variations because every person is going to have a personal taste on the wrap of their car. There's so many different options available. So show as many different photos, videos of different cars because somebody's going to see something they like and will reach out. You don't have to compete on price because a lot of times it comes down to the color, which is why people are reaching out for a wrap in the first place. They're changing the color of their car, most likely. And so the whole benefit there is be able to actually focus on variation. It's good to have a variety for those cases. Other cases, it's not. You don't want to show too much variety in other businesses. But for vinyl wraps, it's all about variety. What's a good spending limit on interest testing? We keep covering this. $5 to $10 is totally fine to start with for testing. Scale up if you're getting sales. Someone told me if spending only $1K a month on ads might be better to just spend that in 1 week instead of spreading over a month. Not true at all. You should just start off with 5 daily, 5 to 10 audiences. If it's getting sales, scale up. If it's profitable, scale up. You should only be spending more money if you're actually making money. You can go in the hole for a little bit just for testing purposes, but you don't want to, there's a big misconception around I'll know if a product works by spending more money on it. That's not necessarily true. Timing has a bigger play here. So if you spend $10,000 a week or $1,000 a week, either way, it's still going to be based around the time that the campaign runs because there's going to be different people active. There's going to be different audiences and clusters that campaign's still going to have to run through. It's going to be based off of a time standpoint for a majority of those tests. So that's why when you run a test campaign, it always wants you to minimally have not only a budget, but the actual timeline to spend. So keep that in mind. So no matter what you're spending, you're still going to want to leave it a certain amount of days. Michael said, hey, my man, happy Friday. Can you believe it's been over 2 years since we started? Absolutely crazy. Michael has generated a lot of amazing results over the years. So amazing to see you. It's been crazy. Time is definitely flying. Been doing this for almost 8 years now. Been in this space. I've seen thousands of ad accounts. Definitely a lot of history and super cool to see a lot of businesses grow. I mean, we've started with brands that have joined our mentorship and been a part of our trainings and literally are competing with Gymshark now, and they started at zero with us. We have people who have, sold their companies for multiple 8 and 9 figures. It's absolutely absurd. A lot of people ended up becoming super famous from their e-commerce brands and started with us at the very beginning. So a lot of cool stuff in history there once you've been in the game long enough. So always love connecting with people who've been there since quite a while ago. How much do you need to grow IG followers with ads? Depends on what the cost per follow is and what you're looking to achieve. The best way to do it is organic Instagram Reels. Has anybody noticed that their Instagram Reels are performing better than their TikTok? Instagram Reels are absolutely crushing it right now. So if you're not doing Instagram Reels, you definitely should. Instagram's algorithm is definitely favoring it. People are growing rapidly. Just like you used to be able to have explosive growth on TikTok, now Instagram is really having that explosive growth. You can get tons of sales this way. Somebody Shaq said, yep, IG is way better than TikTok. A lot of results are happening on TikTok, but a lot of amazing explosive growth is now happening on Instagram. So you might still see good stuff on TikTok, but Instagram Reels is really where it's all at right now. A lot of amazing questions. How to avoid audience overlap if you have 15 treatments, but your audience have same for all treatment? It's a tough question, but essentially it ultimately boils down to, are you required to run ads for those 15 treatments? If yes, and you're limited by that audience, you're just going to have to deal with the overlap because you have to dedicate budget to each treatment. Now, if y'all don't care about which treatments and y'all are just looking to maximize the overall bookings for any treatment, as long as you're getting bookings, then just combine all 15 treatment ads into that one audience. That's the best way to do it. If they do have a preference, then you keep them out. If they don't care, then keep them in. I hired 3 content creators. Thomas says, I'm getting around 30 UGC videos. Would you launch them only with paid ads, or should I also post them? So there's a big misconception around UGC. It gets confused a lot with influencer marketing. It also can be confused with UGC ads versus UGC organic. If the creator is creating content that's organic based, that isn't necessarily promotional, then you can post it to your organic page and ads if you'd like to. But if it's promotional, where they're like calling out a specific offer, they're saying go to this website to buy it, and it's kind of selling them in a UGC video, then I would only put in the ads. So you kind of have to label whether or not it's an ad-based UGC, an organic-based UGC, or if it's just influencer marketing to begin with. So they're definitely all separate things. Does IG push Reels made inside IG rather than third-party uploads? As long as you don't have the logo, you're going to get good reach. So just make sure you leave out the TikTok logos from like other platforms. And also, we used to edit inside of TikTok and migrate to Instagram. Now we edit inside of Instagram and migrate to TikTok, YouTube too. So now we create everything inside of Instagram just because the tables have really turned in terms of a view volume and consistencies. Would love to get you on my podcast if you're ever in the Phoenix area. Absolutely. Always going to Phoenix. I'll actually be in Phoenix in the next 1 or 2 months here pretty soon. So DM me. I would be happy to be on your podcast. I definitely do in-person podcasts now. Dax wondering the same thing. And that goes for anybody. If y'all want to meet up or anything as I'm traveling, happy to announce that on my stories if people are interested. What industries do you think would grow in 2023 or suggest a young person to start a business in? There's so many industries that are going to be growing. There's always going to be opportunities in every industry, whether it's shrinking or not. As long as you can find a way to improve upon a product or service in a space, can execute on the marketing quite well, can be competitive with the offer, and have a brand that communicates effectively, you're going to be just fine. I always wondered if, a specific niche would matter, or what it, if there's a better niche than another. It's really not the case. It just comes down to execution. As long as you're good at executing, you can be in any niche and be successful. Where are you traveling to, bro? Traveling a lot of places. Always around in the States, might be making some traveling over in Europe here pretty soon. When are you coming to London? Get that question a lot. I need to go to London. We have a huge London audience. It's actually crazy. 30% of my audience is US based, which is a lot of people, but 70% of y'all are actually outside of the States, which means there's a lot of opportunity. A lot of you are from Australia, Europe. That's a big portion of it for sure. All right. I get tons of add to carts and abandoned checkouts. What would you recommend to do to capitalize on it? You need to optimize your conversion rate. You likely have a low conversion rate, or your shipping times are too long. You might not be communicating enough information. It could be a sizing related issue if you sell clothing. There's a lot of factors that can affect your conversion rate. If you're at a 1% conversion rate, you definitely have room to improve. If you're at a 2%, you have room to improve. If you're at a 3%, that's good. Anything above that, it's really just a choice because, I mean, 3% plus is very scalable. But I mean, we have people at 8%, 11%, even somebody at 20%, which is by far the highest conversion rate I've ever seen, which is insane because the ROAS is just off the charts because everybody converts, it seems like. So it's pretty crazy. Can't wait to see you at SellerCon. Thank you. Yes, going to be attending SellerCon. If you're going to SellerCon, definitely excited to see you. There's going to be a lot of people there. I'm going to be speaking at SellerCon event. It's going to be in Austin, Texas. If you haven't got tickets there, definitely do. I'll be speaking alongside a couple of other speakers as well. A lot of amazing people are going to be there. So looking forward to it. Can't wait to see you, Miguel. It is optimal to do an engagement campaign first on Facebook, post to get social trust, then use it to do a conversion campaign, or is it a waste of money? I would always just do a conversion campaign. You're going to get social proof anyways. You're going to build social proof. Now, not saying an engagement campaign is not a good strategy to build up social proof. You're just better off getting sales, and your money's going to be better spent going after purchases, and you're going to gain the social proof over a longer period of time anyways. And the problem with social proof is if your ad doesn't convert and you spend all this money on social proof, it might help you get a few more sales, but ultimately you're just going to force Facebook to want to spend more money on that ad when it's actually not working. So it could actually be a downfall scenario. What about making your own strategy on Facebook? Yeah, I mean, we definitely, in terms of strategy, everything we do for strategies is based around data. So if something's not converting, or we essentially let the numbers tell us what to do in terms of strategy. It's very clear. You can know if an offer's not working. You can know if an audience isn't working, if it's a conversion rate issue, if it's a quality issue, if it's a creative issue. There's always ways to look at the data, and it's clear as day. It will tell you every time what's wrong. There's no guesswork in this anymore. How to deal with ad inconsistencies in the testing phase. You're always going to have ad inconsistencies in the testing phase. It's just a part of the game. You're going to have days where people aren't online. You're going to have days where you get a ton of sales. It's because the algorithm and how the testing phase works is it's hitting different groups of audiences. And sometimes if it doesn't get a purchase in one specific cluster of an audience, it'll go to an audience within that audience that is not going to purchase. And so it's just spending money on things that aren't getting sales. So that will happen. So you'll see fluctuations. Don't worry about the fluctuations. Worry about getting to 25 to 50 conversions a week per campaign or audience. And then you can try to get out of that fluctuations where things become very consistent, where it's like down to a T what you know you're going to make per day. Lots of amazing questions and comments coming in. If you haven't seen the YouTube video we just dropped, we're covering an ad account, auditing it. That's spending $500,000 to $1.5 million per month. A lot of you might be mind blown that you can even spend that much. Yes, you can spend millions of dollars on an ad account. It can handle scale. If you have the right strategies, it can do that. But sometimes big brands will just pour these budgets because they have them, even though some things don't work. And in this case, there was a lot of stuff that is not working that shouldn't be set up the way it is. And we audited that account and went through all the things that needed to be fixed. How would you handle POD ads with thousands of SKUs? Dynamic is one way. This is common with boutiques that have a lot of different product lines, or they're always doing new arrivals or limited quantity. So dynamic carousels, those are the big factors. Focusing on specific sets of collections, best sellers. I love you so much, brother. Thank you so much. Rochelle, do you think SMS marketing is better? Absolutely. SMS has super high open rates. If you do SMS, you can crush it. A lot of people miss out on that opportunity. You should capture SMS and email. Since most of the emails end up in promotion or spam, how would you mix Klaviyo SMS bump together? Yeah, send out SMS as well. Try to humanize it a bit more. If it's promotional, try to take out some of the offers. So write more as if you're texting a friend. That'll get you out of the promotion box. Treat it like you're texting somebody. That goes for emails too. And same thing for your views on TikTok and Instagram. If you act like you're FaceTiming somebody, you're going to get a lot more views. I can assure you that. Comes across more easily. What do you think about the one campaign setup with broad targeting only and D's ad set? Yep, that's good. That's always a good way to test for sure. All right, we're going to take one or two more questions. We've answered a lot already. By the way, if you have any questions around our mentorship or interested in working with us one-on-one, definitely DM me the word mentor. Happy to answer any questions there. set up a call with myself and team, see if you're a good fit. We'll essentially help you with your Facebook, TikTok, organic, your conversion rates, everything you essentially need to make money. It's very ROI positive. Everything we do there is based off of data. We'll go into your account and literally tell you exactly what tweaks you need to make really quickly. UGC better for today's market. Depends on the UGC creator and also what you're trying to get out of it. If it's awareness, if it's views, if it sells, there's a lot of different factors there. What do you think about the one? Okay, yep, already answered that. One or two more questions, and we're going to wrap it up here. What's a good cost per lead for a Kickstarter campaign? Depends. Ideally, you want to be within $1 to $5 for sure, though. Anything higher than that, you could definitely improve upon. Are hashtags important anymore? Yes and no. Hashtags help for search ranking. They help for keyword ranking when people are searching. They don't inherently increase your view volume based off of a deliverability aspect, but it does help your discoverability, which is very different from being pushed out. Discoverability is through people searching or trying to find a specific, video. Hashtags can help because they'll help you be discovered. Do you help with opening a brand and store? We do, but not from like ground zero. We're not going to help you find a product. You have to already know exactly what you're going to be selling. Do you use dynamic ads with Spark Ads? Yes, you can definitely test that. All right, lots of amazing questions, everyone. Super cool. Glad everybody joined. If you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out. And if you're interested in joining our mentorship, DM me the word mentor. And if you haven't already, check out the latest YouTube video we just released. And once again, happy Friday, y'all, and have an amazing weekend.